Buster's Road Rules, Tucson, Arizona is generally an interesting episode of Postcards from Buster. This is the 15th episode of the first season, and Buster is on a road trip with Carlos and Mora through the Sonora Desert and the various things that they encounter along the way. And I have to say it's pretty fascinating. There are a lot of Spanish words in this. There's, education about what a piñata is, and there's a lot of focus on a mariachi band, which means there's some really great music in this. And that aspect of it I thought worked really well. And the actual road trip side, I thought it was going well, but then it became really repetitive because when they're out in the car or in the van, they have a bit of van trouble and they have to get out, and that allows them to meet more people and interact with the plants of the desert. And it was a really great way to see more of the desert, and there are a lot of shots of the desert. And something I've mentioned before with Postcards from Buster is that a lot of episodes, apart from a couple of establishing shots, don't really allow us to see the area very much. But this one, absolutely not the case. And it was going really well. But then they have more van trouble, and it just felt so forced. It was kind of like they went, okay, we need a reason to meet more people in a different part of the desert. Let's just repeat something that's happened. I mean, it's a slightly different problem, but the fact is, it's the same, the same method of giving us an opportunity to get back out into the desert on foot. And I feel like it just felt really forced, and it wasn't the most well crafted narrative. But at the same time, we actually got to see live action shots of the van, which helped to make it feel a lot more immersive. But there were also cartoon shots as well, which is always quite a fascinating mix. So it's not perfect. The actual structure of the episode has its moments. There are good moments, there are repetitive moments that feel forced and not very well written. But in terms of giving us a good view of the area, wonderful, really beautiful, and obviously a lot of culture about a lot of the Mexican culture, since Mexico is very nearby, a lot of that culture and what that's like, and a lot of the language they use as well. So I feel a lot more informed. I knew next to nothing about Arizona, absolutely nothing about Tucson, Arizona. So I feel a lot more educated in that respect, and it was generally a really good episode, but there was definitely room for improvement.